here with Gloor. He's the owner of the Real Food Network here in Cairns, Australia. And it's all about local food. It's all about real food. It's called the Real Food Network. So why don't you tell us, what is the Real Food Network?
Well, it's basically it's about collaborative and resilient community, and it's about the community taking responsibility for its own food. And what I mean by that is that everybody that's involved with us, even our farmers and our customers, are effectively volunteers.
Okay.
So the customer is not just somebody that comes and gives us money and gets their product. They have to manage their account. They have to save their boxes and return them. They have to come and help us work at the network here. They have to help us in other aspects of the business. Our farmers have to do other special things for us, like let us use their trucks, use their cold rooms, use their packing rooms, as we move product from the outer edges to the center. So everybody is working together to make sure that the people that live here have access to the largest variety of strictly local food in season as possible. And also, on the other side of the coin, we're providing a service to the farmers so that they have access to a local market. They don't have to buy expensive containers, they don't have to pay freight, they don't have to send their product off to a distant and often corrupt market that won't pay them the value for their product. So we're maintaining control of the food that we grow right here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's a network rather than just like a shop or a
It's a
stand at
network,
the market.
that's right. And we supply all sorts of other people and institutions with things that people coming here don't even know about.
Yeah.
You know, we ship product off to TI, we ship product off to New Guinea, we ship product out to schools in remote areas. We fund small community groups that are maybe a little community group needs to buy a laptop, and they come to us and we give them a laptop. You know,
awesome.
It's all based on whether we have the money or not.
Yeah.
But it's no complicated grant forms or anything. You know, it's just you need something, here it is.
Yeah. And so why is it so important with local food, do you think?
Well, it's for many reasons. Not a lot of the reasons. A lot of the reasons that people talk about these days are not the reasons that I believe are most important.
Okay.
For instance, they talk about food miles. Well, you know, that's a really tough conversation to get your head around, because it's not just the fact that whether it's coming from Toowoomba or Perth, there's other issues around food miles. It's more about maintaining your rural communities where you live. It's about eating seasonally with what's grown in that area. It's about supporting the small family farmers in that area. And if we can't support the small family farmers where we live, how the hell can we be expected to support a small family farmer in Peru or in Western Australia or in Quito, in Peru, or in Santiago?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not getting supported by us. So if we want to keep our small family farms that are, growing many types of products rather than just one monoculture, we need to get our head around it. And we can't just be laissez-faire and, okay, I'm just going to go buy the cheapest possible food I can find, which is what a lot of people sadly do. And they don't understand that maybe they're getting a cheap purchase, but what is the long-term cost of that decision? What is the implication of only wanting to buy the cheapest food possible? Well, eventually all you've got is cheap food. And then when you only have cheap food, your health starts to deteriorate. And we're already seeing it now. All you have to do is stand here for the next 10 minutes and you'll see the implications of having crappy food.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably 5 minutes, sorry, 5 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers, they're all into raw food and fruit-based diets. And real food diets, essentially.
Yes.
And we always talk about how important it is with local food, especially also because of the freshness factor.
That's right.
If it's not local, it's not fresh. And
it can't be.
It has to be local to be fresh.
That's right.
And
very hard to have something fresh that's come from several thousand kilometers away.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're actually helping a lot of farmers transition from industrial management practices to organic management practices. We have the average age of farmers in our region is more or less 60 years old. Many of them are second and third and fourth and fifth generation, and they consider that the industrial type of agriculture is actually conventional and traditional, and they don't acknowledge, because they've never thought about it, the fact that what they're doing now has only been happening for about 100 years, and for several thousand years we've been growing product without chemicals. But they now think that they're the conventional farmer, they're the traditional farmer. We don't press anybody to change their practice, but they watch us, they observe us, they hear what we're doing, they read what we write in newspapers, etc. And one by one they come to us and they say, look, can you visit me, talk to me about my farm, what I can do to change my management practices? And
great.
we right away, we'll say, well, your riparian area needs to be rehabilitated. You know, you've got a situation here where you're losing soil. You're having, that's chemical runoff, it's ending up in the creek, which ends up in the Barren, which ends up in the reef. You're killing the nurseries for our fish. So you need to think about the implications of your practice.
Yeah.
And in that process, oftentimes they start to make corrections. And we started out with this with 3 organic farmers out of 24. Now we have 156 farmers and about 60 of them are organic. So we help them go through that transition. We send them because we know the people that have the knowledge, like yourselves, and we will send them to a farm and we'll say, okay, here's what we can do on your farm as a first step. It doesn't cost you anything but labor. Then we go with doing more complicated things.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for a farmer that's also considering the fact that they have to feed their family, they have to pay their rates, they have to get their kids to college, whatever, and they're worried about losing production. And we're talking about taking them into an unknown realm. And so we do it in a way that does not threaten their livelihood. And so sometimes it will take 5 or 6 years to transition, but they don't lose money.
Right.
And for that reason, we call one of the descriptions of our businesses, we consider ourselves to be a restorative business practice. So we are not just acting sustainably, which is a word I don't even put my stop in anymore, it's lost its meaning, but restoring, going back and helping people change the landscape on their farm.
Rehabilitating.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we have farmers now that if you go to visit their farm and they walk around in the paddock, they'll be more excited about the weeds growing there than they are about whatever product they're growing. Because they'll start to tell you what bugs that weed is bringing, and they'll say that that bug is providing that service for me for free. And so they're starting to understand
the whole picture.
The services available from the natural landscape that are there for us if we don't kill it.
Sounds good. Moving in the right direction, I think. With
Yeah, it's a very small and slow step, but
Yeah.
it's something we can actually do. I spent many, many years working with high levels of government trying to do this on a broad scale policy type changing process, got nowhere. So now we could not reach them through their intellect, we're approaching them through their stomachs.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's small, but you know, it's like a homeopathic.
Yeah.
A little bit can go a long way.
That's right. We go from the grassroots.
And we're starting to see the change. I'm watching the attitude changing here, the people coming into the space, people that I've watched here for years never came in here, now they're buying things. Now, we always thank people for supporting us. Almost without exception, they look at me and say, thank you for what you're doing. I don't think there's too many other vendors here that are people thanked for what they do.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's good for that. I think you know, if you're in Cairns or if you're in the area, if you're traveling around and you're wanting to visit Cairns, I suggest you go to Rusty's Market on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to check out the real food stand here in the end of the market. And if there are any other places people can find out,
they
maybe
can go on the internet, Real Food Network, and that will tell where we are.
Yeah, all right.
That's the easy way to go.
realfoodnetwork.com.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for watching.
Good.
I'll put the link down in the description, and you can check it out there. See you around.